Hello, kindergartners. We're going to be getting some worksheets out of our green folder for our stations today. And here's what you'll need. You're going to need your patterning cards. They're the ones with the Columbus theme. Lots of ships today, huh? All right, you're going to need this syllable work mat and this picture page. And finally, you're going to need some flashcards for skip counting by 10. There's 3 different sheets that you need to find for that. There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, I was just counting 1, 2, 3, and I was counting by ones, wasn't I? Well, I want to talk to you first about skip counting. Now, when we skip count, we don't say all the numbers. Maybe sometime you were being silly with your friends and you said, 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. Have you ever heard that before? Yeah, that's a little bit too much skipping when you skip count. You can't be very accurate with that. But sometimes we like to put things in groups of 10 to count them. For example, we'll be learning this year that a dime is a type of coin that is worth 10 pennies. So every time you see 1 dime, you know that it's equal to 10 pennies. Well, if you're counting dimes, you don't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in order to know that it's worth 10 cents. You can just see that dime and you say 10. You know it's worth that. It's kind of like a tens frame, right? That's counting by tens. There's other times when we like to count by 10 too. Sometimes you might have a very large number and you're afraid that you might forget what number you're on if you just count by ones. So you might make smaller groups of 10 so you don't have to start over each time you get confused. We'll practice doing that a little bit later in the year. But for right now, I just want to practice memorizing how to count by tens. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to hold up a picture of a dime, and on the picture, there's a number. It's going to be in groups of 10. I'm going to count by tens. I'll say it, then you say it. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It's always kind of fun when we get to 100, isn't it? Now, if you notice, look at the front of the number. We call this the 10 spot. Do you see how it goes? Let's flip that around. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's almost like you're counting by ones, but you add a 0 onto it, so it's a group of 10. That's all you really need to know about why we count by tens right now, because we're going to be talking about that a lot more later this year. But something that will be useful to us when learning how to count even by ones is to know the numbers that have a value going up by 10. So for you to know it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 is going to help you understand a lot of the things we do in math. So what I'd like you to do today is you're going to do a picture frame cut all the way around the outside of these flashcards. You can see they've got our friend Columbus on there, can't you? He's looking through his telescope. I wonder if he's spying any sea creatures. Wouldn't that be an exciting adventure? After cutting around the outside, I move my scrap to the side. And I'm going to cut on the solid black lines. Now, for the page that just has 2 numbers on it, you're going to do the same thing, but it's a smaller rectangle that you're cutting out. Now, you could say where it says skip counting by tens, and then when we're done using these, you can kind of fold it like a folder. I'll show you what I mean. It says skip counting by tens. You could fold that in half, just like this, and you could put your cards right inside here. like this so that they don't get lost as easily. Where do you think I'm going to tell you you can put this? You might put it in your book box if your parents said, oh, just keep it all in one box. We don't have room for 2 boxes. Or if your parents said, hey, let's have a math box and a reading box, you can put this in the math box. And then later on this year, if you need some practice time and you're not in school, you can get these out and practice counting by tens. Now, are these in number order right now? They are not. See, it started with 50. So I would need to, lots of stuff out on my table today. I would need to work to line them up. So there's 50. Oh, look, here's 10. I know that's the first one I'll say when counting by tens. I know that 60 comes after 50. I'm going to put 70 way up here because I ran out of room here. Look at this. 10, 20, 30. Can't put 80 there. Oh, that's what I needed. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Now, I didn't cut these out yet. I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be. Do you know what will come next? Yep, 90, then 100, like that. 90, 100. Let's do it together. Ready? It's hard to see there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. We did it. You know, sometimes boys and girls, when we count by tens, Mrs. Finkel likes to do flash counting because see my 10 fingers? It's the same thing. I could go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All right, boys and girls, so now you know what to do with your flashcards that are in groups of 10 for skip counting. I'm going to put these right inside of there, and I hope you put yours in a safe spot for using later. All right, now I'm going to tell you about the pattern cards. It's another thing that can be saved for later. We did some of these the other day when we were practicing patterns, and in our math lesson, our group math lesson today, we're also going to talk about patterns. What I would like you to do is just to cut these out and practice making an A-B pattern. Remember, one thing, then the other. One thing, then the other. Excuse me. And then you could also practice an ABC pattern. So you could go 1 ship, 3 ships, 1492. 1 ship, 3 ships, 1492. Or you could go Columbus, 1492, 3 ships. Columbus, 1492, 3 ships. And you'll remember that the important thing about patterns is that they repeat. All right, after you're done with those, put them in an envelope or a baggie, and you can use those on another day too. Here's the last one we're going to do, and we're actually going to work on this one together a bit. Today we're going to work on something called a syllable. Now a syllable is a chunk of a word, just one part of it. Sometimes we call it like a beat, okay? I'm going to cut out these symbols. These are all Christopher Columbus symbols, reminding us of the things we've been talking about from history or things that have happened in the past. I'm going to move that to my growing scrap pile. And then I'm going to cut out these little stamps and I'm going to set them to the side. Now, when we want to know how many syllables something has, we have to listen quite closely. We say the word, and sometimes we clap each time we hear a word chunk. Sometimes we do something more fun, like maybe shake a maraca. Today I'm going to start by giving a little tap on my drum. All right, let's start with this word. Let's start with telescope. Ready? You count the taps. Telescope. How many times did I beat on the drum? Do you know? Okay, Pierre. Yeah, 3 times. Listen again. Telescope. So now we know that telescope has 3 parts to that word. Do you see my sorting mat? This is for words with 1 part, 2 parts, and over here is the spot where I put something with 3 parts. So I'm going to go ahead, put a little bit of glue on the back of my telescope. And I'm going to glue it right onto my paper like this. See what I'm doing there? Okay. Now I'm going to take another word. And the word that I have next is, let's pretend like this is the Nina. Are you ready? Here we go. Nina. Yep, I heard two also. What if I said ship? Then let's count this. Ready? Ship. Yeah, it was just one. Nina. Two. It has two parts to it. All right, well, since we said we're going to call this Nina, I'm going to put this in the 2-syllable section. See how I did that? So now I have a word with 3 syllables and a word with 2 syllables. Okay, excuse me, Mrs. Finkel's got the yawns again tonight. I know, it keeps happening. Next, I have a map. Did you already tell me the answer before I got to do my tapping? Let's do it. Ready? Map. Yeah, just one. So that's going to go in the 1 syllable. It's a very short word. Not very many parts to it. Well, this one's kind of fun. I have that tool called a compass. Ready? Compass. Compass. It was 2 parts. Let's go ahead and glue that down under the part of the chart that says 2. Like that. All right, next. Oh, I wonder if I made a mistake on this one. You know how I called this one a map? Right there. I wonder if they wanted that to be an island. Island. Let's try it. Island. That would mean I should put it in 2. If you still want to call it a map, you can. But I'm going to move it over. I'm going to call it an island. And I'm going to put it under 2 because look at this other picture I just found. Yeah. This one shows a map for sure. So let's say map. Ready? Map. Now I'm going to put this one in the 1 spot. You decide if you thought those were both maps or if you thought one should be an island. It's okay as long as we know how to count the syllables. Okay, next we've got this guy. Do you remember who we were studying about? Yeah, his name was Columbus. Let's say it. Columbus. Columbus. Did you hear 3 taps? So did I. Let's glue this picture into where there are where there is a spot for 3. All right, do you want to do the shaker next? Let's do something a little bit different. Oh, I see a picture of a queen. Are you ready? Queen. Yeah, there was just one. All that to do, and it was 1 syllable. All right, let's put the glue on the back, and I'll put that under 1. Now, this one, sometimes I think this is supposed to be King Ferdinand. Could we say Ferdinand? We could. Or we could say King. Then that would be a different number, wouldn't it? We could call it a knight, but I don't think there were any knights in the story. So, since we talked a lot about the king, let's just say king. Are you ready? King. Yeah. Just 1 syllable. So I'm going to put the glue on here. And I'm going to put it on the part of the chart that says 1. And look what I have, boys and girls. I have a sorting mat full of words that are sorted by whether they are 1-syllable words, 2-syllable words, or 3. You know, you could try this with your name. It's kind of fun. Like if we did Jessie May. Listen. Jessie May. That has 3 syllables. Let's do Aubrielle. Aubrielle. See, that's another one with 3. But if I go with something like Mason, listen. Mason. That's only 2. Yeah. Oh. What if I did Lillian? Let's try it. Lillian. That's another 3. What if I did Jack? Jack. Just 1. But if I did his whole name, Jackson, that would be 2 word parts. All right, boys and girls. So today we practiced finding how many syllables words had, listening for word chunks. You're going to get some practice with patterning. And we also talked about skip counting by 10s. I think that's about enough for one station. So you boys and girls finish that up and then take a little break.